Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell. It is very cold, and my voice is kind of screwed because we had a live event yesterday, but the show must go on, and we are here with another recorded mission with three fantastic players, two of whom you've definitely seen on other actual plays. Let us begin with a brief introduction of who we are, starting with our good friend Julian.
Hello there. I am Julian. I've been playing Enclave for over a year now, which is wild to me. And yeah, happy to be here. Still enjoying the game. Very happy to get a mission by Robbie. It has been a while, I think.
It has been a while, and very happy to host for you again. And next up, our newest debut on recorded actual plays.
And hello, I am Geroniuz. You can call me whatever you want, actually. This is my... I have played for half a year. Nothing much to say. I don't know.
Well, it's great to have you on a recorded mission at long last. Thank you so much for doing all this awesome hosting that you've been doing recently, including attempting the Big 12 by yourself, which was crazy. And you got pretty far through it. Got pretty far.
Missions, I think.
Yeah, that's not freaking bad at all. That is really impressive. And lastly, Tomáš.
Hello, I'm Tomáš. You can call me Tomáš, ideally. I've been playing Enclave for over 2 years. It's been a lot of fun doing some conducting, some playing.
Absolutely. And I received, well, actually, before focus words, characters. Let's do it in the same order. Julian, who are you playing?
Today I will be playing Gideon, who is a Raubriter, a very nice class that Tomáš and I made in what seems forever ago. He is not there to make friends. He will do the mission in his way, and hopefully everyone survives to see it.
Quite. And next, Gero, who are you playing?
So I will be playing Attain. A Valtharion is his name. What everyone calls him. I'm not gonna say his full name because we will be here for 5 minutes then straight. But everyone says he's a joke character, kinda. I don't see him as a joke character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cult leader. Believes in gods, believes in devils, so on.
Yep, and is notable for not only being wheelchair bound, but also Quint plus Arcane, which is the only time I have ever seen that on a Thane, though number 9 does get close. And speaking of number 9, Tomáš, who are you playing?
Not number 9. This is going to be number 8, which I'm sure I'm going to make that mistake myself several times. But yes, I'm playing number 8 today, who is the mother of number 9, though they do not really get along all that well. So those of you that are familiar with number 9 would know that number 8 is also undead. She is not a mummy, she's mostly skeletal, and she is a vessel. Likes to be diplomatic where possible, but perhaps we'll see some sacrifice and blood magic. We shall see how the mission goes.
Perfect. And from these players, I got the following focus words for these characters. First of all, was, what is that? Roughly speaking. Second of all, was life on Mars? And third of all, I gotta have to pull this one up because I can't remember the whole thing off the top of my head, was the War of the Holy League, not to be confused with the War of the Holy League, 1538 to 1540, the War of the Holy League, 1570 to 1573, and the Wars of the Holy League, 1683 to 1699. Thanks, Tomáš. I just have it as like an ellipsis in my notes. And from those whack focus words, I came up with the following mission. You guys are being sent to a remote monastery, which is about to be faced by an alien invasion. This is not the first time this has happened. This particular part of Manifold is a kind of loose nation of kind of religiously and ethnically connected peoples called Omeroth. And they have, over the last couple decades, faced occasional incursions by who they call the Celestial Infidels. These are strange space creatures who arrive in your prototypical flying saucers, and every time they have tried to attack and invade monasteries. Now, as you might imagine, the first time this happened, it was mind-blowing for these medieval peoples, and they managed to win every single time. They have driven back the vastly technologically superior spacefaring creatures. And they have recorded these in their texts, they have made tapestries, the great invasion of the celestial infidels, though as you might imagine, every single time it happened, it has had slightly less fanfare, and has become a little bit more just prosaic, that they have won, again, against the great celestial infidels. Again, only ever attacking monasteries. Now, you guys are being sent to this monastery because, once again, the celestial infidels are attacking. But what the people of Omaroth do not know is that the celestial infidels are not just going to lose this time. They have a plan. And their plan involves taking captives. It turns out that part of the mismatch in this has been the celestial infidels aren't really aware of metal. It doesn't exist on their planet. They don't use it. And it turns out that metal is a hard counter to almost everything that they have to throw. And so they have been trying to learn how to combat this strange substance and have come to this particular invasion with some serious upgrades, both in terms of strategy and technology, though for them it would be downgrades. They're like, wow, we're stooping to this level to deal with these dumbass tools that these apes have. And yet, though they would see it as stooping down in technology, kind of like if a modern military started using bows and arrows and it somehow worked, this is going to be a much more successful invasion than the other ones have. And the people of Omaroth are none the wiser. They're just going to be like, aha, another glorious battle that we can win in name of our god. Now, your goal is to drive off the assault of the celestial infidels and to absolutely ensure they do not take even a single captive. That would be catastrophic, because obviously that could allow them to unlock the secrets of metal, which is the one thing preventing them from just effortlessly wiping everything about Omaroth off the map. You will have to deal with likely not an enormous number of celestial infidels. Space travel is very expensive. They can't send a whole armada. It's going to be like 1, maximum 2 ships, but only 1 is there at the moment. The people of the monastery are not completely unfamiliar with combat. Many of them are in fact monks and are not particularly effective in combat, but they'll do something. They're not just going to roll over and die, especially once they realize that things are going far south far faster than they expected. But there are a handful of guards here. Monasteries in these parts are not uncommonly attacked, and so it is fortified and does have some manner of defenses ready to go, but not necessarily from above. Last thing to note... Yes, the last thing to note is that the celestial infidels, their reasons for attacking and invading, especially in the manner that they have, are entirely unknown. What is known, however, based entirely on a combination of conjecture and prophecy and theology on the part of the people of Omaroth, is that the celestial infidels are in fact religious themselves, and it seems to be a holy war that they are attempting to incite through this sequence of invasions. The exact details of this are completely unknown. With that, questions?
Do the celestial infidels...
with the obvious, which is, given that we are supposed to let them not take captives, are we allowed to kill the would-be captives instead?
Yes, it is preferable that humans die to be taken captive.
Do the celestial infidels speak Metro?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They have
Has anyone tried to actually talk to them?
Yes, they have. And their response has always been some iteration of, "Your fiendish god will perish," or something along those lines.
Okay.
They've not been necessarily very cooperative. That said, it's given that this is a holy war, there is a very decent chance that they will have slightly more interesting things to say to a creature not of this religion. Other
Speaking
questions?
of creatures
Yeah.
not of this religion, how are either of those two sides going to treat a walking skeleton?
Given it's the middle of invasion, they are not likely to be anywhere near as inspective as they might otherwise be. In terms of the Celestial Infidels, no idea. In terms of the people of Omeroth, they do actually see skeletons and remains and corpses as being kind of not sacred, right, but hallowed, right? It's not something you normally mess with, and so they're unlikely to mess with you. But as are they unlikely to see you as inherently dangerous and fiendish.
Questions about the religion. Any specific things that we might need to know about the religion, like gods, devils?
Yep.
Anything?
The main one to remember is, or rather, the religion of the Celestial Infidels, not known. Zero idea. But they definitely have one, and they definitely don't like the one of Omeroth. The one of Omeroth is a monotheism that focuses around worship of an Earth Mother, functionally. But it's something of an unconventional one, because unlike in most cases where a god is a protector, a creator, a in and of everything sort of deal, the people of Omeroth consider their goddess, Oma is her name, to be the thing that they need to protect. You can think of this goddess as being almost a perpetual damsel, that her people, her worshippers, only drive and only goal is to preserve and protect. To that end, as you might imagine, creatures of the sky coming to try to destroy her is kind of the worst case scenario for them, but also certainly lights a deep religious fire in their hearts.
I have hosted a mission myself with almost the same like religious dynamic. So
Oh, really? That's sick.
Yes.
Other questions?
So the infidels, are they humanoid-ish?
They are bizarre-looking creatures. They are not only, they do have kind of all the parts, but not all in the same places. You can think of them as kind of flipped, with the heads being low and the legs being high and splaying down like an umbrella on either side of them. They are also able to fly by means of strange, like, how to describe this? Like you know how a frog's throat can billow out to croak? So imagine their weird spindly legs being able to inflate and balloon them around.
Right. I do not imagine they are particularly resilient, right?
No.
Okay.
Though I will say, the armors they have worn in past attacks would have been fantastic in their own lands against their own weapons. But it turns out are garbage against metal, and so arrows just popped them instantly.
Okay. Should we expect ranged weaponry?
Yes, quite a lot of it as well. Though that said, given that in the past the traditional weaponry of the Celestial Infidels has been worthless against metal, they are going to be adapting, and the exact ways they're adapting is not yet fully known. But if they keep some of their traditional weaponry, which you can think of, pulpy laser guns sort of things, metal armor will do great against it.
Do the infidels have any known social taboos which would make them terrified of someone?
That is not well known, given that, again, the amount of actual discussion with them has been precious limited. The closest thing that can be known to that is that they do seem to have a deep, driving, destructive urge to get rid of the religion of Omeroth.
What's our teleportation location?
Great question, too. You guys are going to be teleported in just inside kind of the main atrium of the monastery. The invasion is going to be happening just outside, and monks are in the process of trying to retreat into the building while their guards try to get into something resembling a defensive position. The guards of the monastery are very outnumbered, plus they have a whole spaceship to deal with, and so they're going to be... They're outgunned, even if they're kind of like weirdly overconfident, given that they don't yet know that the Celestial Infidels have adapted their plans.
Now, how many people are we expected to try to save here? Like, how many people are in the area?
Doesn't matter how many die, but
yeah.
as long as none are captured, it's fine. In terms of the total population of the monastery, think of it like 40-ish monks and like less than a dozen guards.
Okay.
In terms of the numbers of Celestial Infidels, it's honestly probably considerably fewer than that, but it's enough to pilot 1, maybe even 2 spaceships if you're unlucky. And, you know, given the tech difference and all that, that's a problem.
So our mission is for the Celestials not to capture the monks.
Not to capture any humans at all. I mean,
Any
you guys can
all,
port
yeah.
away, but any local humans, shall we say, and you need to drive them off. So just get rid of them and make sure they don't take anyone with them.
Question:
Mhm.
If we kill all the humans,
That is kind of a mission success, but at the same time, them taking a body is not ideal. It's like not the worst thing in the world, but then they'd also be able to just pillage the monastery for whatever it has, like holy texts and stuff. And so if you just like killed everyone there and left, that's still a mission fail, but kind of an interesting and creative mission fail.
Maybe let's not be that creative.
It's honestly a valid question. Like that's one of the most valid times to ask that exact question. Final questions.
I am so expecting number 8 to die here.
how strong is the gravity in the planet normal or different?
No, this is in their homeland, God knows, but the Omeroth itself is entirely normal in terms of being like a medieval human inhabited section of Manifold. Nice. In that case, I say we proceed to assembly. Your entirely normal medieval gravity. Precisely. Your characters brought together in Enclave HQ to meet before the mission begins. As you all are entering into the normal, customary, beautifully decorated meeting room with its normal refreshments laid out and its standard attendant there to answer final questions. Brief physical appearance and first actions upon entering. We will begin with Gideon.
All right, so I'm wearing an approximation of what Gideon would be wearing with his like uniform and now a billowing cape on top, right?
Yep.
He is a somewhat tall, used to be somewhat fit man. He has a military buzz cut that I do not, for like simple reasons. But he has let himself go since the days of him being like vital and has a very pronounced gut that I do sport in actuality. So yeah.
And as he
would
enters
just
first
get in the
actions.
room, wrench himself one of the chairs and just kind of stand next to it, fixing his cape because that is not wanting to stay on today, I guess.
Does he have a connect with him? Is it Simon today?
Yes. It is, in actuality, the first one to make it not 1 but 3 missions, funnily enough.
Amazing.
So, yeah. Go on.
Pardon me. Next up, Valtharion. Physical description and first actions upon entering the room.
So what you see entering the room is probably old guy, not knowing. He's wearing full armor. I have an AI image that I'm gonna send in the chat. But yeah, he's full armor. He seems really demonic, and of course he's in a wheelchair. He has like big horns, some kind of marking on this chest and wheel, and like kind of like spike appearance. He's being rolled by one of his men, and after the man rolls him into the room, the men of course leave. And first thing he does when he enters, he probably sees Gideon and says, "Oh, hello there. My name is Valtharion. How are you?"
I don't think I'm fine any longer, but I shall be Gideon. Do you expect to be doing a mission in that state?
Yes, of course. I have done missions a long time with that. I'm even running my own religious company. Are you interested? Maybe joining and becoming free?
Simon perks up at the word free.
If your faith cannot even make you walk, I don't think I would want it.
And finally, number 8, physical appearance and first actions.
All right. Number 8 is a skeleton. She is female, though most people probably wouldn't be able to intuit that at first glance. Though she is wearing very much like a black dress, see-through black veil, some golden jewelry as well, and a dagger which is neatly stored in her ribcage. Yeah, she would enter through the door, would probably expect to be immediately addressed by someone, but given that there is currently a conversation between the two agents, she's probably just standing there, waiting to be noticed.
Yeah.
In a very composed manner, you know.
Quite. And as she enters, and Gideon and Valtharion are exchanging words, follow-ups from either of them towards number 8. I can say at the very least, Simon would be far more disturbed by her presence than by Valtharion's.
And if Simon at all shows any sign of fear, it would appear that number 8 smiles a little more.
Yeah. Her teeth clacking, I don't know. Whatever that would look like.
Yeah. I have no idea either.
Yeah. Follow-ups from Gideon, then.
Well, I guess we should get going before that one expires anymore. Am I right? Turning to Simon and nodding to number 8, looking somewhat expired.
Yeah,
to him.
and Simon would be like,
Right. And then he looks around for a telepad, probably not finding one at this very juncture.
Certainly.
Attendant, we're ready.
And the attendant would turn on a heel and trot from the room, and the telepads that up until now were not seen along the far wall would spring to life. Valtharion, any actions you would want to take as number 8 enters the room, and Gideon indicates he is ready to leave.
"Oh, one of the followers of the devils! Welcome! I proudly pray for you! How are you?"
Yes, greetings. Your prayers are deeply appreciated. Hello. That one seems rather rude, doesn't he? Looking at Gideon.
I don't know how Valtharion would respond to this. What would he say?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, at least you have some manners, young man.
Probably the first time Valtharion has heard the word young referred to him in a while.
Yeah.
Final actions from Valtharion before taking a place atop the telepads.
I would probably do not much actions. I would just probably roll to the telepad and question, is there a ledge on the telepad or not?
I think the Enclave would be well aware of Valtharion's limitations and would ensure he can get on smoothly. Other places, no, but the Enclave, yes.
Yeah, then I will smoothly roll onto the telepad and just wait for the ritual to begin.
Absolutely. And number 8, final actions from you.
Number 8 is absolutely disappointed that she didn't even get a chance to sit down at the table and like look important while maintaining eye contact with all of the agents. Valtharion was at the very least like talkative, but you know, still not very courteous. So
Quite.
but yeah, at least there is someone who is not horribly rude on this mission. She was expecting to have like a glass of wine just sitting there, wasn't going to sip it or anything. You know, wanted to look regal, but
Yeah.
I guess she's just going to rather slowly make her way to the telepad. Not slowly because she would be like old or shambling. She's trying her best to conceal that fact, but slowly because, you know, she's not important. They can wait for a little bit.
Quite. And lastly, Gideon, though you are the first to make your way to the telepad, final notes before you take your place, if any.
No.
Excellent. And in that case, as you all take your places, you would feel your bodies begin to dissociate. A tingling that starts at your feet, though Valtharion would not feel it until it reaches the hips. At this point, the others would feel as though their legs have fallen asleep. The tingling passes your midsection, your stomach churning violently. It passes your chest, and your heart flutters, or rather, in the case of number 8, the ribcage might have some sort of a strange tingling dissociation. And then when it passes your eyes, your vision would explode into ribbons of color. The world would fall away. There's a buzzing in your ears, and then there is nothing. And as quickly as the sensation begins, it leaves, and you find yourselves amidst movement and shifting light. You are in the entryway to a monastery, as described. The monastery is made of beautiful cut sandstone. It's impeccably designed, and it seems to be recessed slightly, maybe into a hill of some kind, given that instead of having just a walkway out, it's a slope down that leads to this main entryway, which you can see by the fact that not only are the doors open and people are being quickly ushered in, but also they bring great plumes of dry dust with them as they come skidding down the little slopeway that leads up to the entrance of the monastery. Inside, it is quite beautifully decorated, but in earthen tones, as you might expect, and you can already see that there are a handful of local defenders who are trying to suit up as best they can, with the monks helping them buckle on their armor. As you guys enter, you would also hear something else. Outside, there is a strange distortion sound in the air. It sounds almost like a glitching MIDI keyboard. I can't even do it justice. Sort of thing, like a little high-pitched chirping, bubbling whine. But additionally, you would see the lights outside. It might be evening, I guess, like early evening. There's sunset tones. But there's also weird, strange, bright distortions of light that flash and flicker, and you can hear the yelps of surprise and warning from the people still outside. Immediate actions upon arrival, we will begin, as we have been with Gideon.
Well, I think we best get going. These do not seem to be in any capability of defending much of anything. Look around. Like a general sense, probably doesn't see anything.
I'm losing your mic a little bit, Julian. It's kind of hard to hear you. Oh, pardon.
That is... Sorry, I will try and speak louder then.
No problem. I can hear you perfectly now.
All right. Turning around to his knecht.
Yeah.
I don't think those are going to be put up much of a fight, if anything. And then he will take a stock of the situation.
Simon, who is looking around a little bit, kind of peers out of the door, and then to a nearby monk who is kind of hurriedly bringing a bow and quiver of arrows, he would stop the man and say, Give it here. Right now, man, come on. And would just jam the bow out of the monk's hand and just take it from him, and start to stuff arrows wherever he has room for them. Follow-ups from Gideon.
Well, he will too look around a bit, not only at the monks, but at the inventory, at what sort of... I'm lacking a word. what sort of interior design this room is sporting right
Certainly. It does look reminiscent of a church in terms of like the design and the beautiful decor, and there's multiple entryways, presumably to maybe a main prayer room, and then off to the sides as well. There's the great doors that have a slope leading down to them from outside, and you can see that not only are many of the monks here bringing in big heavy braces, presumably to bar the doors in some way. Some of them also bear crates of provisions and things in case they have to weather a siege. So they're responding well, even if very few of them are actually taking up arms. It doesn't seem like they have a great store of weapons in here. Those seem to be being brought in here, and people are being suited up inside just to keep them out of the line of fire that's outdoors. There's only a small trickle of people who are still coming through the great doors. Seems like most of them have evacuated already, at least the ones, maybe not evacuated, come to Sanctuary already, at least the ones who aren't going to be fighting. Any other specific details you'd be looking for?
There was description of crates. Like, Gideon is looking mostly for breakables, I should say.
Oh, yes.
But this is going to be a weird one for him from the mission statement, so we shall see about it.
Yeah. Couple breakables. Besides the supply crates that seem to be full of provisions and things of that nature, you would also see that several of them also bear like racks of scrolls and sacred texts. You would also see that in a prominent position, kind of in the main part of the atrium, there is an hourglass, oversized hourglass, that has sand gently filtering down and through it. Oh, and jugs of wine, obviously. Now, as Gideon is taking stock of this, first actions from Valtharion upon porting in and seeing the, not complete chaos, but organized crisis.
Organized crisis. Is there like a group of people, right? I know there's people around, but are they like going into a group?
They seem to be like in little teams. So some of them are like bringing armfuls of supplies inside. Some of them are getting ready the barricades. Some of them are trying to help the guards get their armor on. So there's no like one big group, and all of them are doing stuff.
Okay, I would go to one of the guards, probably, who is already like ready for battle.
Yep.
And I will just like roll over there. Hello, friends! I'm here to help. I wanna ask you, what is happening exactly?
And you can see that several of the other monks who register your presence are looking at you with consternation. And the guard himself, as he kind of peers down at you, he would say, "Excuse me, you are not from these parts, are you?"
That is correct. I am a follower of gods and devils, a believer of everything.
He says,
I'm here.
"Did you come from the sky?"
I come from many places, from the void, from the sky, from the earth itself. I am the follower of many gods and many devils, including yours.
His concern shifts to like some amount of appreciation, but then back to concern. And he says, "We are under great attack from the celestial invaders. They are a deadly force, and we must make all hands ready. If you are needing refuge here, then I am sure the good brothers of the monastery will give it to you."
Thank you. But, it's not the first time they have attacked you, is that correct?
He says, "The first time our monastery here has been attacked, yes, but not the first time any monastery has been attacked, no. There have been, I cannot remember the number, a nearby monk would helpfully call out, 5 different times over the last 30 years. He says, "That's the one, but this is the first time we have been attacked."
Interesting. Is everyone evacuated into here, or are some missing already?
Not everyone. We have been taking a head count. I believe there are 4 brothers who are still out, and then of course we have many of our defenders who are out and about trying to assist them and to drive off the attackers.
Okay. As soon as everyone is evacuated, I think the warriors should come to protect this monastery also, so we don't scatter every warrior away in the city and so they don't get picked up one by one.
He says, "Are you a man of tactics, or are you a man of war?"
I am a man of war and tactics. I lead the armies of the cults and search in my home world.
He seems nervous about this, but at the same time doesn't seem to want to look a gift horse in the mouth. And he says, "Well then, should I bring you outside?"
Yes, that would be delightful.
And he, like, kind of awkwardly goes to try to figure out how to wheel your little device, and eventually gets the hang of it. The handles aren't particularly hidden, and he starts to quickly try to get you up and out, just as the last of his, like, of his greaves are strapped onto his leg. As he does so, Valtharion would first of all be probably quite grateful for the fact that this is a sloped entrance rather than a stepped entrance, and second of all, you would come up and out into the main courtyard of the monastery. The monastery, like, church building itself is, again, deep set into the ground. Imagine the ground floor is like a story underground. So only like a dome of beautiful burnished metal is on top, kind of like almost similar to the Dome of the Rock if you've seen it in terms of its design. But there's also quite a few other smaller auxiliary buildings that are left around, and the monastery even has a wall, though not a particularly huge one, and also no good against flying ships. You would also finally be able to see the vessel that, like, coasts around overhead. The best way I can describe it is, imagine a stereotypical flying saucer was meshed with a soap bubble, right? It's gossamer, it's kind of see-through, it's shimmery and rainbow, and it looks abundantly poppable, though judging by the fact that there are several arrows sticking in midair directly underneath it, that part has been tried already. Before we go further, however, number 8, first actions.
Right. Am I immediately noticed by someone?
Like the very second you poured in, or within a couple moments?
I mean, within a couple of moments, but I think Valtharion interacting with the people would probably grab most of the attention, right?
Valtharion does have a +4 to vitality, and so yes.
Okay, that's fine. In that case, I will wait for him to get wheeled by the soldier, and I will walk alongside the soldier and try to start a conversation while gently putting my hand on his shoulder. Let's hope he doesn't get too spooked, but I do have the ceremonial raiment on.
Quite, and you would see that as you are kind of, even though Valtharion is taking up a lot of attention here, and Gideon is not necessarily a slouch in that regard either, your somewhat ghoulish presence would be noted, but you don't detect fear, right? Or at least not aversion, per se. Maybe a little nervousness, but nothing worse than that. And as you would kind of put your hand on the soldier's shoulder, he would kind of awkwardly try to, like, wheel with one hand for a moment and offer you an arm to hold, as he would say, "Apologies, good mother, I have not the hands."
No, that is quite all right. Please be not alarmed by my presence or the presence of my two rather odd companions, she would say very loudly.
Yes. And he would say, "Alarmed? No, of course not alarmed, good mother." He says, "I can only imagine that you have arrived in response to our prayers for aid."
Yes, we have indeed. And we come with information.
He says, "You do? Please, we do very much need information. This is our first time facing these threats, and though we have known of many great victories, it seems so hopeless, outnumbered as we are, or seemingly outnumbered," he says, looking with great fear up towards the gigantic ship. As he does so, you guys would see that part of that bubble kind of distorts, and a great plume of color lances out, as it almost looks like, you know when you get, like, you've those videos of someone putting something awful in the microwave and it making, like, the goddamn northern lights inside of a microwave. It looks kind of like that, and then just pulses down, and it bounces harmlessly off of the metal domed roof of the monastery.
Wow. They will not try to defeat you in battle necessarily. They are merely here to take captives.
Captives? He says,
Yes.
"How do you know this?"
Well, let's say through a revelation. again, she would smile somehow.
Yeah. And looking rather concerned, he says, well, I must sound the warning. Obviously, this Valtharion can hear all of this because number 8 is walking next to him as he's being wheeled up. And he says, if captives are being taken, then it is even more essential that all the brothers are brought inside of the building.
Yes,
Indeed.
that's what I've been telling.
It is absolutely essential that not a single captive is taken.
Right. And as he gets to the top of the ramp and can let go of Valtharion's wheelchair, he would take out like a small trumpet that kind of hangs at his side, and he would kind of like blow it out a little bit, trying to get the attention. But of course, there's a lot going on right now. And so while a few nearby guards, hearken to me, and like start to maybe kind of pull over here, most of them are trying busily to shoot at the spaceship. Which you guys would also be able to see how the spaceship is dealing with it. Every time an archer shoots, you can see that a little like gout of colored gas seems to like plume out from it. And the arrow is stopped and kind of caught in midair, and then would, after a moment's kind of pause, almost like Wile E. Coyote, like going over a cliff edge, it would like tumble down to the ground harmlessly. Although, of course, being an arrow, it would turn point down as it does and stick hard in the ground, meaning that people would have to at least step out of the way to avoid them. Now, before we go further with this, however, jumping back to Gideon.
Gideon will make his way towards the front door and even out of it a bit.
Yep.
On his own.
Simon has his bow and quite a collection of arrows at this point. And as he does so, he's kind of like skulking in the shadows of the great ramp that leads down to this place to try to keep out of any sort of direct firing line.
He's gonna watch the whole thing, arrows flying up for a bit.
Yep, and he would see the great, like, beam attack shooting off and lancing down towards the monastery roof, but not seeming to do anything, though you can't see the reflecting part given your angle. You can hear that it doesn't seem to break anything.
There are no defenders outside as of yet. Like a few guards, from what you've told.
There are a few guards,
there's...
though none of them are close enough for you to easily see, besides the one who is with number 8 in Valtharion. Maybe half the defensive force is outside, and they seem to be scattered.
Was thinking of using the gun, but I don't think that's going to do anything. He's just kind of trying to reason it out, talking at Simon, not necessarily with him.
And Simon, looking up towards the arrows, would say, slightly, like, maybe a little faster than he normally would, clearly still nervous by the impending enemy. He says, well, maybe different firing angles or something like that.
Well, it's futuristic techno. I was expecting them to have some sort of shielding. That seems rather archaic. So we probably need, as instructed, more archaic methods. And it just turns around and walks back inside.
And he says, and you see that when you say archaic methods, he like reaches down and picks up a loose rock and like looks up.
Well, Gideon will just nod. Like, he might as well.
Yeah.
Before he turns inside.
And as you do so, Simon rears back and takes a hawk of it up. It's the ship is quite close, and Simon is no slouch. You know, he's Knechts are pretty capable combatants. The rock flies up, and it hits the spaceship. Now, it does bounce off and doesn't seem to do all that much, but it's not blocked. Simon looks back at you.
Good on you, boy.
And says, yeah, I got it.
I think we can do something with this. Yes, you did well.
As he's saying this, though, you can see another, like, laser building within the outer shine.
Yeah, well, Gideon was just nodding, telling him a good job, uncharacteristically, and then we'll just usher him back inside anyway, because outside seems dangerous
Quite.
in and of its own.
And About 2 seconds after you usher him inside, you hear the great of like another of the strange lasers going off, and the area where Simon was just standing is barbecued by it.
Well, best stay inside, I guess. Then...
Now that you're back inside of the main room of the monastery, you can see that the great laser strike right outside of the door has sent many of the brothers scattering, and the few guards here have, like, leapt backwards and tried to get their shields to bear, but of course it's not coming in. Follow-ups from Gideon now that you're back indoors. Simon has also scampered pretty much as far away as he possibly can get.
He's just standing there, looking at Valtharion and at number 8, trying to figure who best to talk to about such matters as knowing that rock can hit the ship somehow.
I mean, would I see it? I think number 8 would be watching.
Given that Gideon and Simon are behind you guys a little ways down the ramp, the closest thing I might say is you might see like a projectile sail up. I'm not sure quite that number 8. Yeah, I don't see any like sensory or anything like that on number 8.
No.
So I think it would be like just a vague sense that other people behind you are also trying to go for it. In that case, before we go further, let's jump back to Valtharion and number 8. Actions from her first, and then we'll jump over to him.
Yes, I activate Insidious Whispers.
Excellent.
Okay, so we know that they are weak to metal. They want to kill this god, who they presumably seem to, at least to some extent, understand what this god is about.
Yep.
I am thinking that this is not merely they do not know metal as such. The metal is probably blessed in some way to make fighting against them possible. Is that true?
Excellent. What is
a question I'm pondering? I would be pondering this about the Earth Mother, I suppose.
Yeah. What is number 8's Insidious Whispers sound like?
So she struck a deal with what is essentially like an ancient forgotten god of desert, hunger, and drought.
Yeah. Absolutely. In that case, as you would do so, the voice would come back kind of rattling and whispering and kind of echoing as though 3 voices were speaking one after another. And you would hear, "The metal here, they're opposite. No ordinary metal." All but confirmed.
Given 4 pluses to spirit, is it then a direct divine intervention, or is it more of like a blessed earth sort of thing?
That's an excellent question. And how would you try to determine that in terms of what things you would be looking at, what stuff you would be interacting with? You are in a sacred place, after all.
4 pluses to spirit, maybe looking at the people. Do I see that there's some sort of like a divine shroud over them, especially the ones that are like armed with actual metal armor?
Yeah, and you do not see a halo. You don't see a glow about them. What other like sort of spiritual identifier might you pick out? Because again, this is an Earth Mother, and so she's unlikely to be shining things with radiant light.
True. Do I maybe feel like they are acting with higher purpose, that they do not seem to understand themselves?
They seem very brave. Like, imagine a bunch of medieval soldiers going up against, like, that, with no captain, even. Like, they just seem to be trying things.
Yeah, I would imagine being sort of, like, internally reassured, even if they are not, even if they do not know that.
It does seem that way. Just at a guess, and given, again, the 4 pluses to spirit and the way you've seen these people behave, while they are, you know, it's clear they're in a crisis, right? It's clear that they are alarmed, they're on edge. They're not panicked. Like, weirdly not panicked, for sure.
Okay. Now I need to figure out just how much of this I can share without corrupting others.
Quiet. Speaking of corrupting, though of course he hasn't gotten there technically yet, Valtharion, actions that you would like to take. The guard is trying to signal to his companions, and you wouldn't have heard anything from number 8 yet, nor would any of what she had learned been shared with you. So what would you want to do?
I would like to. Wait, let me think it quickly. How does the trumpet look like? Is it just like a small trumpet? Does it like if I speak through the trumpet, does it sound louder?
Oh, would you like beckon for it to be passed to you or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Could you give me the trumpet for a second?
he says, "Yeah, very well, sir." And he would pass it over to you. Again, a little hesitant.
Yeah. I would like ready the trumpet. I don't have a trumpet here, but I would ready the trumpet and really loudly say, "Everybody, formation, fall back to the." Wait, I forgot. Wait, what was the name where we are? Cathedral. Wait.
No problem. The place that you're in is called Omaroth. Is the name of it. Pardon. I have a small creature coming to say hello. You want to say hi, Sterling?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of something right now, though. You're getting some hello, so I need you to go back down, and I need you to close my office door and not be as loud, okay?
Yeah, and I also.
I believe you're good on your walk, but I need you to be good right now as well, and that involves closing the door. Okay, bud? Go on. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Now, pardon me. Anyway, so yes, please repeat what you were just saying.
Okay, I'm gonna a little bit change it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take the trumpet, of course. I'm gonna put it to her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Not the. I'm gonna like. As loudly as I can. I'm gonna like, make the sound with it. While using characters.
Ooh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's even louder. And also, I have a perk. People affected by characters will be more susceptible to your prosel. I don't know how to say it.
Oh, proselytizing. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I would as loud as I can, so to get everyone's attention, and then shout, "Everybody, stay together! No man left behind! They are trying to steal you from each other to gain the information that you have. Stay together! No man left behind!" And like, raise my hand, hit it in the sky, and give you trumpet back.
Absolutely. Quad plus vitality plus Garethynx says that everyone in like a half-mile radius would hear that one. And as your message blares out, you can see immediately the scattered soldiers begin to kind of pull back in your direction. But as they do so, one of them would point, and you would see what he is pointing towards. You hear his call of concern. A tractor beam has emerged from the ship and is pulling one of the brothers slowly up into the air. You see that the man has like a big oversized holy text in his hand. His legs still kind of like try to move as though he were on the ground as he looks around perplexed and concerned.
"Everyone, we believe in gods, we believe in devils. Go help, grab his legs, grab as many as you can. If one gets sucked up, we all get sucked up."
And as you do so, one of the soldier closest to him, with Valtharion's booming voice still affected by Garethynx, would immediately bolt towards him and lunge to try to grab onto the brother's legs. You can see that the moment the man enters the tractor beam, this soldier enters the tractor beam, it's like it flickers and breaks. And the brother collapses down on top of them. The two of them hit the ground in a heap. That said, the other soldiers who have pulled up around you, given that they are seeing with concern what's happening here, they do start to break formation to go try to rush over and help.
"Everybody, do not stand alone. Stand with party of 4 or 3. In case one of you gets sucked up, you can help and scream for help. We cannot be alone in this fight. We will have to be together. Strong as together, strong as gods, strong as devils. We believe in everything, in freedom."
And as Valtharion is yelling, Garethynx does encourage others to join in, and you would hear that several of them start to incant from their own religion. It doesn't quite match what Valtharion is saying, but the spirit is there at the very least, and you can see that not a few of the guards go rushing off to help, but also so too do several of the ones that were in the monastery come rushing out to join you and number 8. Speaking of which, number 8, follow-ups from you.
What is the guy I've been talking to doing right now as this is happening?
So initially he was going to rush off and try to help with the tractor beam, but he after hearing Valtharion's words, he would stay behind and kind of stay in the place he has been, right behind Valtharion's chair, to assist in moving him about. He has out his bow, though, and even though he isn't shooting it like randomly about, he is just kind of like ready with an arrow knocked to pull it back and see if he can try to hit it towards something. Most of the guards here are primarily using their bows, though they do have other weapons.
All right, 2 questions. How urgent does this abduction seem, and does it seem like the other people will have it under control? As I'm imagining, like most are rushing to help.
Yeah, it seems like the tractor beam getting cut short seems to have done the trick, at the very least for now. And not only has that brother been recovered by the guard, but there's another trio of guards rushing over to assist with them. And they are quickly getting to their feet. There is also, of the few other brothers that had not yet retreated to the monastery, you've counted 2 more that have come in, meaning that this guy is probably the last.
So I'd like to prevent my guy from running away.
Yeah.
I would sort of like tighten my grip on his shoulder.
Yep.
I mean, this wouldn't be like super tight. It's not like I have any might at all anyways. But just like making clear that I need his help over here.
Yep, absolutely. And he would look to you, and you could, again, there's this blur between like nervousness and respect that he has.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Good mother, what do you need?"
Before I talk in character, 0 pluses to luck, bitch. Does this person have gauntlets? I am wishing the answer to be no.
Oh.
Like exposed palm of the hand.
That's okay. Exposed palm of the hand, I will give you. Back of the hand is covered.
Okay. So as he turns to me, I will look to him, start sort of like leading him away. I'm looking for a sheltered space, like as close as possible. From what I've seen, it seems like the shots, for like as they are shooting their like laser beams, they bounce off from metal things. Right?
Yep, seems like it.
Is there a metal roof anywhere close?
Yes, you can see that nearby there is quite a beautiful. It doesn't look like quite a shrine. It looks like a little more functional than that. At I guess maybe a timekeeping station. Like a sundial, perhaps, but it doesn't look like a normal one. And it does have a small metal roof.
Nice. Okay, underneath that seems to be like a perfect spot. And as I'm going there, I will be talking to him.
Yeah.
Well, the others are trying to do a good thing, but it will be all these efforts will be in vain, eventually. You cannot really fight back. You need to ensure that people stay safe.
But what do you mean we cannot fight back? That was what we are doing now.
You need to seek protection of your Earth Mother, of course. As I will grab his hand and sort of like extend it toward myself to pull him up.
But yes, of course, but your presence indicates our prayers are being answered.
Yes, of course. Your prayers have been answered. And I will draw my ritual blade and very gently put it to the palm of his hand, making sure that this is like with consent. I'm not like stabbing it like straight up into the palm.
Yep.
Yet, your goddess can do so much more for you. And I'm going to sort of like slit the palm of his hand.
Yep. He like shies away a little bit, but he doesn't like pull all the way away.
Yeah. I'm going to grab onto it tightly, and I'm going to reach into like a pouch or something and get my alms, because number 8 has alms.
Nice.
Now, those would be some sort of like ancient coins, right? You know, in a classic like ancient history fashion, all of them are from very different places, not uniform at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab like a handful, definitely not counting, thinking maybe like 7 or 8.
Yep.
Put that into the palm of his hand so that they sort of get blood, and then let the hand sort of like turn around and gently touch the ground, through which I would like to activate the alms as making this sort of like a gift from Earth, right?
Excellent. Could you briefly,
So
for those who do not know, iterate what alms do?
Sure. Let me check quickly because I do not have the wording myself.
Yeah, of course.
But they are an item from the Samaritan, and they are coins which you can give someone, and they can turn into aid, which they require essentially.
Yep, absolutely. And as the bloodied coins like kind of slip from his palm towards the ground. You can see that his eyes look from them to you, and you can see the kind of combination of, again, still nerves, deep respect, but also there is a hope in him that you can see that he trusts you, and he trusts what you are doing. Maybe in spite of himself, maybe because of your raiment, maybe for another reason besides. And so because of this, even though he is obviously not effusive with gratitude, right? The alms are going to be able to proc with decent power, because the alms do scale off of gratitude.
Great. I do not know what I want them to become, though.
Excellent. I will give you a moment to consider. And Valtharion, number 8 has obviously moved off to the side with the one guard who is behind your wheelchair. You can see that the group of 8, the group of 4 that were helping the brother are moving their way back. You have another group of 3 that have just come up behind you. It seems like the total number of guards that you have to work with for now is 8. That said, you would also see something else. The great ship moves slightly. It moves with a kind of like a sputtering noise as it kind of passes overhead. And you can see that another part of its weird bubbly form kind of like smoothly slides open, and another beam comes down, and this time you can see individuals descending out of the ship. They float gently in midair, and then their strange upside-down forms balloon disturbingly as they start to just kind of float out from the beam, and really like balloons in the wind, would start to kind of like swerve and sway their way through the air like drunken bumblebees. Actions you would like to take as these enemy soldiers are being deployed.
Everyone behind me, ready your bows! And I'm just waiting for the enemies to get closer a little bit, and then and start firing at the enemies. Focus on the balloon-like things. Oh, they don't know what the balloons are, wait. Focus on the weird sized leg things that they are trying to fly with.
And as you hear a series of like twanging bowstrings, like snapping behind you, you can see a couple of things. First of all, the enemy troops, while they move in kind of a strange, disorderly fashion, they're quick and they are definitely nimble. They can dodge the arrows without terribly much problem. More notably, however, you can see that they're not just like fleshy, right? They clearly are wearing some sort of layer of something over what is probably their skin, at a guess. And so too do many of them hold strange devices. And as the projectiles come arcing up towards them, they start firing projectiles back down. In this case, though, they do not fire their strange warbling lasers. Instead, you see that they shoot out what look like little puffs of colored smoke or maybe gas. And then after another moment, it's like, at first it looks like it does nothing, just like a puff of smoke that just kind of puffs in midair and doesn't even reach you. But then it catches fire and sends a flamethrower-like stream down towards you and the soldiers.
That's difficult. Everybody scatter quickly, but stay in groups of 2 or 3.
The soldiers don't need telling twice. This fire weapon is quite concerning for them, and they go rushing out of the way. But unfortunately, none of them thinks to wheel Valtharion.
Perfect. How much time do I have?
Before getting hit by the incoming stream of fire?
Yes.
Less than 2 seconds.
Would you say that if a horse would start running, it would escape?
I might say that. Is this going to be your wheelchair? That is actually a skinned barded warhorse doing something?
I don't want to use shield wall yet. I think it's essential that I save it for later, probably. Yeah. Even though the cooldown is low. but
Mhm.
essence safe. I'm gonna use charge with my war horse to charge away, but also charge the way of like towards out of the like away from the monastery. Like
Yep.
there was a wall. There's probably a gate also, right?
Yep. Are you going to move in the direction of the
Yeah.
gate?
Yes.
Absolutely. And because your wheelchair is enchanted, I believe, right? Yeah. So like,
Yes.
and it can hit,
I don't have to do this.
yeah, it can hit pretty high speeds when it wants to, and so the wheelchair goes rocketing away, and the streaks of fire would just kind of carpet bomb the ground where you guys were, but completely miss you. Before we go further, however, Gideon, stuff to do, I'm sure.
As he was just inside trying to figure who to tell about the rock, he was kind of considering Valtharion, I think, because he looks to be more militarily minded.
Yeah.
But the appearance of enemy combatants from up above has immediately occupied his mind, so he's going to run towards that.
Absolutely. And as he comes charging out, this would be the point at which the great arcs of fire start streaking down and Valtharion goes zooming off, which unfortunately puts him in the opposite direction of you, because you're coming up out of the monastery and he goes zooming off towards the gate, and the streams of fire are carpeting the area in between where the two of you would be. What would be Gideon's action? This would be, unless he's going to try to like climb up out of the ramp, this would be kind of pinning him in the monastery area for the moment. Oh yeah, quick thing from Valtharion.
Is Garantix still up?
Garethings is still up, but is about to end.
So teammates can join that, right?
Teammates can join in.
Oh, we are.
Okay, that was the question. Yeah.
We are. That is a good reminder, but I'm sure it would have come up anyway. As he is seeing a wall of fire in front of him, Gideon is just gonna like compress all of his legs to go into a leap.
Yep.
And then like spreading his arms in a like almost a T pose, trying to activate his new billowing cape.
Ooh, cool.
As he floats, he will take his time carefully, aim his hand cannon at whoever he sees first.
Yep.
And then just let the thing rip, but be pushed back a bit by the recoil of the thing.
And Gideon not only has this billowing cape, he also has a triple plus to might, which means that he can get a pretty decent little boost as he kind of jumps into the air and his cape flares about him. Are you going to be trying to come level with the flying troopers, or are you shooting from below, or when do you want to take your shot?
If they're still up in the air, Gideon will very much try to be level with them.
Yep, absolutely. And you can see many of them...
They did not expect that. Yeah.
Yeah, pardon me. You would be able to see that they are trying to keep altitude over the soldiers on the ground. And given that they're kind of humanoid, but so weird in their appearances, it's hard to determine their body language and kind of hard to determine exactly where they are aiming. So even though to your eyes as a human, it looks kind of like they're aiming downwards, they also move as though they have full awareness of your positioning as well.
That is fine. They have a big head to which to shoot at, and the head will be shot at with the hand cannon.
And bringing up the hand cannon, boom, blasts off. You are like pushed backwards through the air, and you can see that as you have a plus to skill, I believe, right?
Yes, a plus to skill and
Yep.
a plus to vigor.
And is this going to be like just a straight up slug off of the hand cannon?
Yes, its initial shot is just a ball of metal, though a non-magic metal for now.
Yeah, a solid core. And this shot not only tears through the trooper, but it does so effortlessly that for a moment it just kind of leaves a hole there, and then you hear as like a deflated balloon, it goes kind of zooming around in like random directions. And also unleashes a couple of random streaks of fire as it does that go completely awry and don't come anywhere close to hitting you or anyone else. Follow-ups from Gideon after doing so.
Well, yeah. As he has not only violated the laws of physics and now blown somebody's head off, he would like to activate Aufruhr. Not only just of that behavior, but asking the troops below to please, there's nothing to fear but them taking you alive. As his other hand reaches for the Morning Star, which he starts charging as he menacingly floats towards the next one.
Yep, absolutely. And as you are doing so, between the Alpha, which is also enhanced by the Garethings to some degree too, blasting out across the area, the soldiers who initially had been scattering start to yell and jeer. And in addition to shooting arrows, many of them who have run out of arrows start to throw stones from the ground. And the stones are much more effective. For whatever reason, it seems as though the troopers have way more trouble seeing the stones. It's not like they can't dodge them. Like, they're clearly very capable of that, and the stones don't fly as fast, but they don't even try dodging them, and instead are way more focused on you. And the arrows that come incoming. They keep flying these like wide perimeters around and are clearly now more locked in on Gideon. He sees that one of them, as it kind of flanks out to his 4 o'clock as another one takes his 1 o'clock, he would hear the kind of its flamethrower going off in his direction.
All right. So is the ground littered with pebbles, or what other stones they are throwing?
Yep. So while the ground has these like smooth walking paths, this is kind of a dry, hilly, dusty area. And given that this is an Earth Mother based thing, there are many smooth pebble gardens about that have plants growing up between beautiful stones. And those sort of smooth, round pebble garden stones are absolutely ideal for throwing.
Oh, I'm sure they are great for a bit more, as Gideon, who has wound up his Morning Star, will try something somewhat ambitious.
Yeah.
Something probably between a manifestation and energy work, as he wants to swipe up quite a bit of those rocks into the air with the Morning Star swing.
Yeah, so like elongating the handle to kind of like scoop it along the ground?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then he will try his best to just sort of catch a few of them with the barrel of the handgun to reload it.
Ooh, that's a cool one too. Now, there's definitely going to need to be a manifestation piece in there because he only has the 1+ to skill. So how, magically speaking, is this going to be facilitated, and what's going to be the paired action for it?
So the hand cannon in and of itself is very much made to be loaded with any sort of
stuff
goings on.
Yep.
He's also very much happy to be breaking things of his allies, because the stone garden to him seemed very spiritually motivated.
Quite.
As he breaks it. So in his mind, he's sort of trying to match up the trajectory the scoop takes and just kind of try to put the barrel in the way of the scoop.
Yep. And the way I kind of see it is almost like the manifestation would be as though the rocks kind of like almost not cling, right, but are in the orbit of the Morning Star as they're brought up, and then kind of come into the orbit of the hand cannon. Gideon also has a 3++ to Arcane, so a manifestation like that is far from out of the question. As you are doing so, however, you would feel your billowing cape like flare out with the impact of the flamethrower attack behind. But billowing capes are very good at protecting against magic, and while this is not truly purely magic, it is what back in the day we might have called an ethereal attack, and as such, you do feel that it, even though the cape does catch fire, it doesn't just burn to a crisp, and you are spared the bulk of the strike, which instead flares out about you like a halo. Immediate follow-ups from Gideon. The reload is not quite finished yet, but he feels that the other trooper that's at his 1 o'clock is getting ready to fire as well.
Right. So his cape is probably still somewhat singed and burning for a bit, right? Despite not catching entirely on fire. Interesting. He will, his Morning Star now free, wind it up again and just menacingly look at the guy as he tries to I'm not sure if that's going to be any good, but he will instinctively try to waft the flame off the cloak, but probably will fan them just a bit more.
Yeah. Now, as he is doing so, we're going to jump back down to Valtharion briefly, and then back to number 8 whenever Tomáš is back. Oh, there's Tomáš.
Actually here. But if you want to go to Valtharion first.
We'll do Valtharion first briefly. Reason being is that as Valtharion zooms over towards the gate area, this is kind of close to where that group of guards was helping the brother who was being brought up. That group of guards is still with the monk. The flamethrower attack prevented them from getting him back into the monastery. So instead, he is huddling underneath like an overhang in the wall's architecture, while the guards around are yelling and jeering and throwing things up at the spacecraft and the enemy troopers. You can see that while they are brave, right, their blood has been roused, and they seem to be taking it much more personally now. What would Valtharion do as he reaches the gate?
Is zero luck, so I can't probably. I think. Could I actually wait my action?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do number 8 first. You would also, I would say, you would be able to see Gideon dog fighting up in the sky with the flying troopers. You would obviously see that first hand cannon blast, and also see him taking fire to the back as he is scooping up stones from below with his morning star. So you'd be able to see him taking on the remaining aerial troopers, at least for the now. But before we go further, number 8. Underneath the protective metal roof of this timekeeping thing, with the bloodied coins being spilled from the guard's hand to the ground, what would you do? What's your pitch for the alms, first of all?
I'm going to... okay, so my pitch is that it will be shelter, which, can be provided to those in need, right? And to make that a little bit more possible, I'm going to sort of move out the coins in a pattern almost resembling like a small town center. And with my dagger drenched in blood, I'm going to sort of make the layout of the shelter sort of like the street and such. And want to conjure a shelter for them, essentially made of dirt and ground and such.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, let me double check a couple of things. So this is like a combination of a hard energy work on the alms, and it sounds like a bit of a manifestation thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a trips to Arcane, so that's not like an impossible thing by any means. Details on the shelter.
So I would expect, sort of if you're familiar with some of the most earliest structures built, just sort of a mud huts, honestly. Yeah. Sort of rising from the ground, completely circular patterns, and just sort of make it clear that they sort of erupt from the ground as sort of divine intervention.
Yeah. So it seems like the point more is the divine element than anything else.
Yes.
In that case, and so after kind of arranging the coins, is number 8 doing anything else to initiate this process, or kind of just arrange the coins and it's happening while she's doing so?
I think as she is doing that, she's going to speak to the soldier who is still there, I imagine. Right?
Yep, he's still there.
She's going to take her candle, put it on, light the candle, right? Put it on the palm of his hand, the one that has the wound on it, so the bags dripping into it may not be the most pleasant thing ever. But I'm hoping he is zealous enough by now to sort of accept that as a fact.
Yeah.
And as I'm concentrating on doing some sort of an arcane ritual, which he would be able to tell, right? That is what is going on. She would be doing this with a lot of veneration as well. Whether it's genuine or just pretending to be veneration, is not clear, but not that he would be able to tell. And she would be speaking to him without making eye contact, since she's too focused on the ritual, and say, "Go, bring all the souls back here before they become lost to the skies," and giving him the light to sort of carry.
And as he takes the candle into his wounded hand, you would hear the kind of rumbling, rupturing sound of shelters being produced. Number 8 would feel the power of this kind of like rattling in the dry marrow of her bones. This is the sort of magic that would take a toll on her, even if not the kind that a person of flesh and blood might realize is taking a toll. And so she would feel kind of a shudder go through her bones as the guard looks about with the candle still in his hand and would see the shelters being produced. Now, the only thing I will add to what you described is these are kind of rounded, almost igloo-shaped mud structures of mud, but they would be studded with pebbles all about them.
Or maybe sort of like the broken coins littered on top.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but given the more earthen feel and like the raw feel, I think that like similarly shaped pebbles would be even more apropos. Plus, all of these things would be roughly circular, especially when looked at from above. And as these things kind of like these structures kind of rise and arrange themselves around the monastery, he would look up, look towards them, look towards the light that he is now holding in his hand, and looks back to you and says, "I will not fail you, mother."
Number 8 would stand up as this is happening.
Yep.
And make eye contact after a long time. Just sort of like kindly nodding to him while pushing the candle deeper into the wound.
Yep.
I would like the candle to sort of like flare up, right, suddenly.
Yeah.
And just sort of like gently tell him, "Your faith will protect you." And sort of like nod to, tell him to go.
And he turns with his bow just kind of forgotten at his side. And instead of that, he takes up a stone from the ground and kind of hefts it in his hand and begins to run out across the monastery area.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
I would want this to be an activation of Fill the Void.
Ooh, excellent. That's an important point. I was wondering if that was going to be where we were going with that. Excellent. Easily done. And with this cast upon him, the guard would go rushing off. Follow-ups from number 8. This would be about the point where we have caught up to the other two in time, but we can keep going with her as well if you have follow-up actions.
All right. So how much of the battle can I see from here?
You can see all of it. It's, again, not a big structure that you're in, though the thing that you would notice is given that Gideon's attention is being dominated by those sky troopers, the ship itself has moved past and is now hovering almost directly over the monastery. It has come to a halt there, and it looks like it might be maybe preparing to deploy more troopers in a different position.
Okay. I will grab my star crystal.
Yeah.
And just sort of play with it in my fingers, inspecting it. Probably sort of paying attention to the light, captured by its beauty. But I would like to see if the starship is desiring the star crystal at all.
Oh, excellent.
And given that the gem seems to be, sourced from Earth, I think that is something they would be interested in.
Quite. Now, obviously, the star crystal is an eye-catching thing, but the ship is a little ways away from you, and you are slightly obscured by a roof. Is there anything?
Oh, she would be going into the open. Okay. She would not be going out of the monastery, but she would not want to be under shelter.
Yep. As you do so, however, you would see one other thing, which is that the star crystal does immediately catch the eye of someone. The guard you just hit with Fill the Void. But because of that spell, he is resistant completely to its temptation. And instead, he would just kind of look over and see it before rushing back out to the far side of the monastery, away from the battle, closer to where it looks like perhaps more troopers are about to be deployed. For number 8, however, her 4 pluses to spirit would tell her much more than the naked eye could. She feels not eyes, literally, but attention cast her way. She obviously, I don't think, would have any concept of the exact technology at play, but one who had more of a language for it might say that she's being scanned.
And that sensation gives her great satisfaction, as despite his best efforts, she's grabbing more attention than Gideon. But yeah, no, that's all I'm going to do. Sort of like see if they are maybe going to be attacking, because I imagine like if they are actually beaming to this place, we would have a great defensive advantage.
Yep, absolutely.
So maybe in like a very mocking manner, just like playing around with the crystal, just like seeing if something will happen.
And something does happen.
I'm mostly waiting. Oh, okay.
Yep. She would hear kind of a deep, like, sort of noise, as another kind of weird breach would appear on the ship, and she would feel herself gently lifted from the ground in a tractor beam.
All right. How quickly would I be ascending, and would I feel like the speed is going to ramp up, or is it going to be constant?
Feels like a brisk walk, and you don't feel any acceleration to it.
Okay. In that case, she's just going to like relax and wait for that to happen. I'm not sure if I want to be actually beamed up, but it doesn't seem like we are in a rush to prevent that. So,
and as you're slowly ascending up into the air, jumping back to Valtharion, and then almost immediately thereafter to Gideon. But we'll start with Valtharion. Do you have any actions you'd like to take, or do you want to see what transpires further with Gideon's combat?
Is there a catapult? 0 points in luck.
No catapult, but you have 2 arms.
That 2 arms is I can't. Can I summon a catapult with
It is a weapon.
It's a
It is
weapon,
arcade.
I think.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and you with energy work, you can certainly push it.
I can certainly push it. Yes. I will first stop before I slam into the gate, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Not quite a Tokyo drift, just kind of like skid to a halt in the dirt.
Yeah. I would take out my original knife,
Yep.
which is skinned like there's a knife and there's a connected to a blood pack, some kind of way.
Yeah.
Not questioning how it works, but it's gonna like get the blood into the bag. I'm gonna close my hands together and do a prayer. That's 2 arms then. I pray for the gods and the devils. I need a weapon that can lift me up into the sky.
Oh God.
I accept the cruelty and true agony I transcend. Warsack, give me the power and enchant this weapon with your power. Catapult, arise. And I would like to use 2 arms to summon a catapult.
Excellent. And there would be a trembling, a quavering, and for the second time in about 30 seconds, the earth would open and disgorge something. Though this time not from the local goddess. In this case, it is it's if we're being like wildly technical, this is an onager. It is a traction style catapult rather than a trebuchet that you'd have to pull down upon. And it is coiled and ready to fire, and it is also made of the strange coiling bones and weird spiked armors of Valtharion's home.
Perfect. Just like I want to describe, but I have 2 perks on 2 arms also.
Ooh, okay, let's hear it.
Let's start the first one, which is easier. You may pray to a patron deity to imbue the summoned arms with low to mid power magical effect and thematical appropriate curse.
Okay, good start.
I would like to enchant that the I would like to enchant that the catapult would give light for like mid duration, but the curse would be that it will blind the user.
Oh, easy. Done.
Easy, done.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do a quick prayer to that because that is an action that I need to do.
Yeah, please.
So, which one was it? Let me quickly look. It was. Wait, what? Oh yeah, this one. I pray for more Daeans. I walk the hidden path, and shadows may reveal my power. Give me your blindness and your power of flight in this moment of time.
And as you were saying this, I'm guessing you can't roll your wheelchair onto the catapult, so are you going to be climbing into it?
Yeah. Wait. Oh. Probably.
Yep.
Didn't think this through. Could it be that I can get the wheelchair on it?
I don't think so. That would have to be quite a big catapult, and your wheelchair is rather heavy too, so it probably couldn't get you very high.
Fair point. Yes. And the second perk is by paying high cost, you can summon a fighter from a belief that is believed in local belief with pitch traits.
Oh, you could get like a local soldier?
Yes, that is from the belief.
Yep. And so since there's a pitched element, what are you going for here? I'm guessing a catapult operator is the the key factor.
I would want the pitched. I want the I would like to summon like their beliefs, like God's warrior or something. Just a warrior from their belief that they believe in. Could they have wings?
Ooh. This is a goddess of the earth, and that's pretty directly contrary.
Goddess of the earth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's then say that they have like they have like vined body, so they're like made out of plants. They have a spear probably, and a shield, and that's it.
Okay, I will accept that.
Yeah.
And as this
hope...
spiritual warrior kind of unravels up from the ground by the catapult, what do you want to do?
I hope these vines can like. Awesome idea. I would ask the fellow warrior of the earth in disbelief, could you help me up onto the catapult? Then tie yourself around me and my wheelchair.
And as the warrior considers this, they heft you up and out of your wheelchair and set you into the basket of the catapult and begin to try to twine about you. As they do so, how and when are you going to activate this sucker, and where are you trying to launch yourself? And I'm guessing the answer is up.
I'm trying to launch myself into the ship.
Yeah.
High in the sky.
Quite.
Probably gonna die, but I had the idea. I have to. Question: is the the warrior I would like him to somehow is his arms tie around my waist and his legs tie around the wheelchair?
Yep. And as the vines are trying to coil into place, are you gonna the catapult is activated by means of a lever, so you're gonna kick out the lever and see what happens? Oh, I guess I get not kick, but
I can't.
Yeah.
I would probably shout, "Can somebody pull the lever?"
And as the vine warrior would reach out and pull, catapults like this, an onager, a coiled weapon, have unbelievable force. And as it launches, the vines effortlessly snap on your spiked armor.
Oh, perfect.
And Valtharion would be flung into the air alone at great speed. But before... Yep.
I will have easier flight because the magical effect, and I will be blind.
Quite, yeah.
Yeah.
But as you go rocketing up, jumping back to Gideon, for the moment completely unaware of the shenanigans.
Well, he's going to get up some shenanigans of his own.
I'm sure he will.
As he has wisened up to the fire and escape, since I had some time to think. And much as he has drawn some earth into his hand cannon, he's just kind of swiping it at the fire, trying to sort of pull it away and up into the thing.
Yeah, he finds that the fire has a weird stickiness to it. Not quite napalm, but not terribly far off of it.
Oh, that's better. Then he will just scoop it up instead.
Yep. Obviously, this now leaves you with a rather smoldering hand cannon.
That is fine. He will like the very quickest of snap aims it at the next person.
Yep.
And just fire the whole shebang at them.
Now, this time, when the hand cannon goes off, you've obviously packed it with quite a lot of stuff. It's a massive scatter shot. And there's no way that this trooper is ready to dodge that spread. And given that you're also firing earth, whatever means they have to ready themselves against metal does nothing. This thing is ripped to shreds. And not only is it popped, it doesn't even have time to like shoot around like a loose balloon. Instead, it just gets shredded. Like its limbs fly off, it goes plummeting down to the ground. And rather than blood, you see it hissing gas from the wounds.
I'm also assuming that shot probably blew up the hand cannon itself.
It did not blow up the hand cannon itself, but it did leave it with a brutal crack down the barrel.
Which just the same, Gideon will just aim at the next one and just throw the hand cannon at them.
Nice triple might hand cannon chuck. This time it does manage to dodge, perhaps because there's a metal barrel to it and it's ready to deal with metal. But as you hurl the hand cannon, it goes plummeting out of the way. The other thing you would notice from here is this would be the first time that you notice that the ship has slightly moved. And is starting to try to not only deploy some more soldiers, but you also detect that the tractor beam is going off in another direction as well. However, the two remaining aerial troopers nearby are like circling you at exactly like 6 and 12, but at speed, making it kind of hard for you to move without getting into a good position for them to try to fry you with more fire.
Oh. That is very alright. We have a long stick that gets longer as we swing it. And Gideon will just bring it above his head and wheel it around.
Yep, absolutely.
Trying to elongate it and just smack it into the first one he hits as soon as it reaches the length to do so.
Yep, as the chain extends, the two troopers start pulling further away, giving you more space.
Well, that's fine. He was hoping to get one, so he will slowly, like, as fast as the cable move towards one as he swings it.
As you do so, this one unloads with another great blast from its flamethrower towards you. What would you like to do?
Gideon would just fall aside and then use his body to wrench the Morningstar a bit more, as he does, even though there's not much for him to go off of as of ground, right?
As you bring the star around to swing, the trooper kind of pivots up and out of its way as it kind of sweeps past. And this time the trooper aims like a little more downwards again and launches another flamethrower gout. This one, however, it seems to maybe aerosolize whatever is being ignited, meaning that instead of like a jet, it fires out a plume of fire.
Which is fine. Gideon is just going to pull him through and aim for the one on the other side.
Yep.
As he does.
And as you swing out with your Morningstar again, the one behind, which had been getting a little closer, manages to duck out of the way, but only just barely. The Morningstar skates overhead, and Gideon feels the rain of fire kind of like pour down over his head from above. Given that it's been, again, aerosolized, it doesn't have nearly the jetting power nor the stick that the other ones have had, but it still carpets him in absolutely brutal, burning liquid. Now, the cape protects his shoulders pretty decently. And let's see. He does also have... He has his furs. Yeah, this over-decorated military uniform that does not fit, to use the full title. And so it's not going to just completely incinerate him outright. But whatever hair he has is completely on fire. Like, his eyebrows catch fire, his head and scalp are coated with it and are burning brutally. What does he want to do?
Rise upwards and then just, like, in a whole swing, like, swinging himself upwards and the Morningstar too, towards the guy above him.
Yep.
Dousing him in fire.
And as you swing up towards the one who is above you, finally, the Morningstar swings up in such a way that they aren't ready to dodge it. Gideon would, at this point, register something, which is that this one who is almost directly above him is actually having quite a lot of trouble keeping eyes on him, in a similar way to how, as a person, it's hard to look straight up. These things have their heads below, and as such, it's kind of hard to look straight down.
I'm also assuming the cloud of fire he's being wreathed in is gonna be not that see-through.
That's definitely another piece to it. And as this is kind of dissipating, his morning star would kind of come whipping out of it and slam clean into the upside down head of the creature, not quite knocking it off its body, but certainly like caving it in. And you can see more hisses of gas emitting from it.
Can Gideon get one hand on the body? Like, is the body itself dissolving, or is there just, like, gas leaking out of what would be, like, gaseous, bloody gashes?
It's more like leaking blood, though it does kind of change the thing's flight pattern slightly, because it is pressurized to some degree. But Gideon, as he rises, can get a hand on it. Though I will say, he is in severe pain at the moment, and it's getting kind of hard to see, given that it's getting around his face.
We are getting there.
I'm sure.
As he reaches out his hand and touches the thing, he has done his utterly best with the, I think, one will to power through this burning. But he is quite done with that. So he would like to, as he tends to do, pull the remains of the one he just beheaded.
Yeah.
Down onto his body as an activation of Unverwüstlich.
Nice.
To sort of heal the injury of being burned all over.
And is he going to be going for a
maybe
prosthetic with this?
Rather than a prosthetic, he would like a few of those legs growing out of his shoulders.
Nice. So you have a perk, I think, on Unverwüstlich that does something with the prosthetic thing.
So the way it is intended to work, the perk is that he can replace, like he can have actual like steampunky prosthetics, as in they will have motion about them. Like imagine replacing an arm with a like steam-powered version of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I'm to rope that in here, so I think might just leave that off.
The reason I go for it is you were talking about the legs that kind of pop out of the shoulders. Those are the ones that inflate. And so because of that, I can totally give you kind of balloon gantry off of your shoulders, because that would kind of tie in the steampunk thing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as he kind of grabs the hissing corpse in and activates Unverwüstlich, you also have a decent amount to your war chest. Maybe kind of a surprising amount. And the reason being is that the stone gardens that you guys have been desecrating are not only sacred, but also the guards are pillaging the stone gardens for rocks to chuck at the spaceship. Activated entirely by your Aufruhr. And as such, the spend from your war chest accommodates the two balloon limbs that now kind of like gantry in this steampunk fashion off of your shoulders and are abundantly pilotable as well.
Is there anything left to the war chest? Sort of hefting it a bit, seeing if anything is still left inside clanking.
A couple crumbs, not a tremendous amount at the moment.
He will get himself as much chest plate of what he has seen the guards wearing as he can get out of that.
Yep, you said going for a chest plate? Yeah, you can get like, not a fantastic one, but enough to cover the front.
Well,
this would
metal
also
is supposed to help.
Quite. This would also be the moment when Valtharion goes whipping past. Before we go further with that, however, number 8. You guys are all now airborne, and with the tractor beam kind of gently pulling you up into the sky, not only would you be able to see the tail end of Gideon's bout with the sky troopers, but more importantly, you would also be able to see Valtharion getting set with his catapult, and the soldier that you used Fill the Void on has actually come rushing towards, like, around the monastery, towards where the new troopers are coming out, yelling and calling to people, and taking up stones into his hands from the gardens as he does so.
Nice. So How useful are the shelters right now? Are like most people like flocking in?
You can see that the people who are in the monastery are not being like called out of the monastery, but the very small number of people who were still stuck outside have immediately gone for shelter inside of them. And also, plenty of the guards are taking stones from the exterior. You do notice, though, that the guy that you hit Fill the Void on is not throwing the stones. Instead, you can see him kind of like bundling them up into his arms.
Nice. So no one except the one soldier is like out in the open, exposed to being taken, right?
There's a couple other guards that are moving about that could be snagged by a tractor beam, but you're not quite sure.
Okay. So, what's the deal with Jerome's character again?
He is currently getting into a catapult.
Okay. I see. Could I get attention of the soldier I used to Fill the Void on?
Oh, absolutely. And the reason I can say this so confidently is both now that you have this connection to him, but also he was one of the first people who like noticed when you pulled out the star crystal, perhaps by some kind of pull at his spiritual self.
Yes. Okay. Before I do that, I'd like to activate Insidious Whispers. And the topic that I'm wondering is, how ready are they for a counterattack? And what would they be afraid of the most?
Yep. And as you do so...
and by a counterattack, I mean like direct boarding. Right?
Direct boarding action?
Yes.
And the response would come that... They fear not landwalkers, but they do fear rock.
Well, my friend does at least have some rocks with him. So I will again sort of like reach out with the star crystal as I'm ascending, almost like an invitation to the one I used to Fill the Void on.
And as you do so, he quickly comes rushing over to like underneath where you are, and he calls out, "Mother, what do you need? I can try to break their connection to you. I do not know how it works."
I just sort of like, how much like above him am I?
You're like 2.5 stories overhead at this point.
Okay. I would sort of extend my hand to him, sort of like inviting him into the beam, right? And say, "Come, champion of Earth. We shall fight to the consequences."
And he steps into the tractor beam expectantly. Nothing happens, and then he goes, "Of course!" And he takes off his armor. And the moment he finishes removing his metal armor, he starts to hover up after you.
Oh, I see. Well, that's fucked. Yeah, that was convenient to have. Does he have his rocks still at the very
He does. He does still have his armful of rocks. And I will notice that, or I will mention that number 8 does have a little bit of metal on her. She has some jewelry. She has the ritual knife. Perhaps it is the type of metal, perhaps it is the quantity, but that does not seem to have interrupted the tractor beam.
Okay. Question, is he ascending faster than I am, given that he's kind of like intentionally trying to ascend?
Yes, and more importantly, he now has less metal on him than number 8 does, which seems to be even more of a deal breaker.
Okay. Well, they fear the rock, so I will try to give the soldier my star crystal. Is that something that I can do?
Are you going to, like, toss it down to him below?
Oh, no, I'm not tossing it. That would be unceremonious.
Quite.
The moment he ascends
so, like, when
towards
he
me,
reaches you.
again, sort of like gently grab his hand. Again, same motion as before. Open the wound again.
Yep.
gently. And underneath, this is not going to be as gentle because I need to stuff a literal stone into the palm of his hand.
Oh god.
But into the wound, I want to stuff the star crystal to imbue him with the power.
And you hear him as he kind of growls and grits his teeth. But he lets you do it. Without question, he lets you do it.
Yes.
And it's at this point that number 8 would hear a great like a billowing hiss as the ship expunges a great plume of gas of a different color than any you have seen before. The plume kind of washes over you and he, and presumably others too, and you immediately see that your companion is having trouble breathing. Number 8 has no such difficulties.
How the fuck can I even help him? I'm sorry, this is... I kind of didn't plan for chemical weapons. Which is in character for number 8, that is for
I
sure.
kind of didn't plan for chemical weapons is a wild thing to say. Before we go further, however, Valtharion, lunging up, shooting past Gideon, fighting in midair, streaking up towards the ship. You're about to reach it when it unleashes this great plume of gas. Valtharion cannot see this, given that he is blinded at the moment. But he does immediately feel two things. One, he cannot breathe. Like, he feels his breath catch in his lungs. And second of all, he feels his whole self unceremoniously, like, smack into the side of the ship. It doesn't have quite, you know, like the squeaking. I was like, when you, like, go down the side of a window. Not quite that, but he does, like, thud hard into the side of the ship.
Do I start falling down?
Not immediately. Do you remember how I mentioned the arrows being kind of, like, suspended?
Yeah, okay.
It seems like something similar is happening, though you did come up with enough force to, like, break through whatever was trying to block them from hitting the ship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Shield. There's a thing, like, I can go through the shield in shield wall, right?
Yes, you can. The shields will allow you to pass.
Is it optional?
That is something that many people have asked, and yes, I have consistently played it, that it is optional whether you pass through your shields or not.
Awesome. What's my essence?
Essence right now... Oh god, you had that high cost. I'd say that you're in mid-yellow at the moment.
Oh, not that bad, okay. Still bad, but not that bad. So I would like to, first of all, I would like to use shield wall, right? To create the shields beneath me, so I don't fall down. Second of all, I would like to do counter attack on this smoke thing with arcane manifestation.
Yeah. Before you do the arcane manifestation, can I get the paired action for your shield wall? Because obviously you're in midair and you're like kind of held by a strange force. So how are you going to initiate the shield wall, especially underneath you? That's kind of a weird place for it to go.
Yes. Oh god, I can't even see anything. Wait.
No.
I would take out my ritual. Not yet. I would start shouting, "Oh God, save me from this fall to the mortal realm! Please, shield wall, come beneath me, from the devils beneath and sky high from the angels. Work together to create the impenetrable wall of shields to save people's lives, and mostly mine."
The most Valtharion prayer of all time.
Yeah.
Is this going to be initiated with, like, I don't know, a clap or a slam? Well, you brought your hands together, so I presume there's something to that.
I'm probably gonna miss at first because I'm like flying upwards, but I hope I could like do it like
Yep.
and then like.
And you would feel the shields materialize above and below. You're at kind of a weird angle. You're not like sitting on the shields. You're almost like laying on them slightly, given that you hit the ship from below. And now, manifestation. What were you going for here?
Before, I would 100% be laying. My legs don't work. Sorry.
Quite, yeah.
Yeah. Manifestation. I hope I could like find out where my ritual dagger is. Knowing that where my body is.
Yeah, you'd be able to find it.
I would. Okay, awesome. I would take out my ritual dagger. Oh, they are using chemical weapons against me again. I have done it before. I will do it again. He's coming from future, I should say.
Yeah, that's true.
He's from future, so that's weird. But yeah. Oh gods, I pray for you. Clean the air of your purity from the devils and the anger that the air is contaminated with. And I would like stab myself in the leg with like.
Yep. Yeah. So are you kind of going like?
Knife.
I'm guessing that given that Valtharion would probably have done this before, there's like a place in your armor you can strike between so that you can actually hit yourself. Is that true? Yeah.
Yes. I would say yes.
And as you do so, you would feel kind of like a gentle thrumming in the air about you, and you would be able to barely gasp for air. You've been obviously doing a good amount of talking, and as such, you were like at the end of your breath by the time that you're able to take more and get another rattling breath in. Also, Valtharion does have a double plus to resilience. It's easy to forget he's a Thane, and as such, his breath held a little longer than one might normally.
Thank God.
As he takes a rattling breath, he has no idea how much air has been cleaned around him, nor how much, like, time he has. He obviously can't see it, but he does know that at least for the moment he can breathe. Actions he'd like to take immediately following before I jump back to Gideon.
I would like... Okay, so the shield wall is like beneath me. Okay, I roughly know that it's not one shield. I would like to use banner.
Oh God!
What could go wrong? Oh God, yeah. I agree. Oh God. So I would reach to my back to grab the banner, knowing that it's there. Trying to like.
It's kind of pinned underneath you, so it's going to take a moment to like.
Yeah.
Now the other thing Valtharion would realize. The place he's in is really precarious. Even if people were, like, even if there was room for other people here, they'd not be able to do much. So how is he going to get around that?
Oh.
Like, otherwise, if he conjures them and they go plummeting down to the ground, it's not like that's going to do tremendously much.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll give you a moment to think, so I can jump back to Gideon.
Yes, perfect.
And Gideon, Valtharion's streaking past you. You obviously now have your balloon gantry. What would you like to do from here?
He was also floating up at a walking speed, so I'm assuming he has ample warning to see the gas cloud as
Quite. It is. Though I will say he also has a lot more speed now. The balloon gantry seems to augment what you already have with your billowing cape, and so it just kind of gives you better mobility than you had before. Now, he is the one who has probably the best warning of the great plume of gas. Out of everyone involved, number 8 was trying to interact with the guard, and Valtharion was blind and streaking through the air. And so Gideon is the one to see it like deployed, with the ship's weird bubbly form distorting in order to dispense it, and comes out in a great billowing plume. What would he do?
Suck it up and power through it. So he will pull a bit of his cloak up in front of his mouth and then just try and rush through the cloud.
And as he moves up through the cloud, a couple things he notes. First of all, as you might imagine, his eyes, which were already having trouble after the frickin' fire was going off around them, start stinging brutally, and his vision starts getting very, very cloudy. Second thing, he cannot breathe at all, but at least he had warning enough to take a big before he could plunge into it. Third of all, his like mucous membranes start viciously stinging. It's awful. Now, admittedly, this isn't mustard gas, right? This isn't just like you die in 2 seconds sort of chemical weapon. But it is wildly, wildly unpleasant. What does he want to do?
So I will say his plan is to just try and go as fast through the cloud as possible, hoping there's something on the other side.
Yep. And it seems that he as he goes through the cloud at decent speed, he reaches what seems to be on the other side. It's not less asphyxiant, unfortunately. But remember when the arrows are being fired, and I described those little like plumes coming out to block the arrows and hold them? He's faced with one of those. And he would find that his speed is brought down quite substantially, though even through his like blurry vision and the plumes of asphyxiant, he can actually see the hull of the ship. It's quite close to him from here, even though whatever deterrent they've been using is keeping him at bay. What does he want to do?
He will pull up his messer, right?
Yeah.
And with like putting all his might and vigor into it, will try his best to put a cut on the hull of the ship with it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And what are you pitching is going to be coming out of this? This is, in fact, a container.
It is a container that, being a spaceship, is filled with, I am hoping, breathable air. The other stupid thought would have been soldiers, but that was way less fun for me. So,
Quite.
yeah, he's trying to pitch that the breathable atmosphere inside is rushing out.
And as you hack at the spaceship, your blade goes through the hull pretty effortlessly, right? It's not like paper, right? It's like ballistic gel, you know? It's not hard to penetrate it. But as it does so, and a new gas comes billowing out, it does push the asphyxiant away from your face, but you're not able to breathe it. These things don't breathe oxygen.
Well, that would have been a good question, Tomáš, but sadly it's not oxygen.
Yeah. So less pain, no breathe.
Yes. Still no breathe, huh? I might need a minute to think about this.
Perfectly
but,
fine. I can jump back to number 8 at this point. Number 8 with the like gasping guard, like not quite in your arms, right, but very, very close to you. The two of you being pulled up closer and closer towards the ship. What would you want to do?
All right. Question: the candle in the palm of his hand has mostly burnt out by now, I'm assuming, right?
The candle was doused completely by the plume of gas.
Right. Question: given that I used Fill the Void on him,
Yep.
he should be resistant to the enfeebling effect of the death mask, right?
Yes.
Well, guess who's getting the death mask?
Clink.
I imagine this would be like a Vex mask that I just sort of like put on his face.
Yep.
And then grab the palm of his hand with the star crystal embedded in it to make like a makeshift oxygen mask. I hope that helps, but you know, it does have healing properties. So.
It does have healing properties. So you're effectively like prompting him to imbibe the star crystal.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Which I have forced into the palm of his hand.
And as you do so, you can see that his eyes underneath the death mask flutter. And up ahead, you can see the hull of the ship come into view through the fog. But rather than like opening to accept you necessarily, it seems like the tractor beam kind of pulls to a halt. How would I describe this? Imagine being in a checkout line and it comes to your turn and the cashier is just like, no, and just like leaves the station. Why
are they making this so difficult?
But
I just want to break their ship.
Yeah, exactly. That said, you are almost directly next to Gideon at this point and are next to the cut he has made in the hull of the ship.
Can I reach that?
You can actually reach that. And with number 8 being the only person who doesn't have to worry about breathing here, this is not a problem at all for her.
Okay. How the hell do I resume the beam? Oh god. 4 pluses to spirit. Does it seem in any way magical, the beam?
The beam is
right.
The beam is obviously a thing of technology, but as we know, technology and magic often blur at this level, and so you would be able to get something off of it. Something else I would note from your spirit stat, however, and then I have one other thing from you. They are scared. The inhabitants of the ship, clearly whoever's controlling the tractor beam, have just noped out of this.
Oh, they better be.
Along those lines, though, I would like to activate Insidious Whispers on one of the ship's crew.
All right.
Do I have permission?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, what were you going to do?
That is terrifying, but that's okay. So, my line of thinking here is that something in the beam detected that we are not fit to be on the ship, right?
Yeah.
There's probably some sort of like a scanning device that is able to see that we are not fit to be.
Yep, and number 8 does remember being examined, or having the sensation of being examined.
Okay. Again, I get my candle, my ultralight.
Yep.
And I would like to make enough smoke to like basically overwhelm the sensors above.
Okay, how will you light the ultralight without oxygen for the fire to feed on? It was snuffed when that big plume of gas came out, after all.
Well, you know, blood contains oxygen. So...
and your arcane stat again?
3 pluses.
Yeah, blood contains oxygen is an acceptable justification for 3 pluses to arcane.
Disproportionate amount of oxygen, I should say.
No, well, probably not the disproportionate part, but the fire can feed off of something besides the air when triggered through a magic like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would, as he's using the star crystal to breathe, I would make a cut on the on his hand to feed the candle.
Yep. You can see that he's not comatose, right? He's awake, but he looks like he's almost in a dream. He is incredibly woozy. But that said, he is alive and does seem to be able to breathe through the, so to speak, through the star crystal.
I would like to amend my action. I would like to cut the palm of the other hand.
Yep.
Okay.
And as you are doing so, and your enchanted smoke is kind of billowing outwards, quick check-in with Gideon, and then we're going to go back to Valtharion. Do you have a thing, or do you need more time?
Oh, Gideon has had a very stupid idea.
Excellent.
It's going to be fun.
As opposed to the rest of this mission.
Yes, he has only done intelligent things, I'm sure. As he almost holds out his hand, and his mind going back to ages ago when he was taught several things, being told that everything in the universe is essentially made out of the things that are in gases being pulled together to make more things.
Mm.
And as he does, he would like to try and pull in the gases into the palm of his hands as a manifestation. I'm assuming that's gonna be a bit slow. So, as he does, he would try and offer up the particles of his hand, so to speak, up into that, trying to dissolve it into this manifestation he's making.
So effectively, he's trying to pull in the asphyxiant and try to get it away from people.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other thing I need from this, right? Because this is obviously quite a big manifestation here. There's an element of drawing, of suction, of vacuum that feels absent to this. Can you add something more in to bring that component in?
Well, he's going to kill himself anyway, so he will just breathe in very deeply as he does.
And as he does so, his lungs screaming in protest, he would see that his hand starts to, like, dematerialize before his very eyes as he hovers in place with his balloon gantry. Jumping back over to Valtharion.
I don't have much time because the shield wall is low duration.
Quite, and also your breath may become blocked again in the near future. You do not know.
I do not know. Yes, I do have 5 arcane, so I hope not.
Mhm.
But I have nothing else really to do except wait. Do I know? Do I hear them? It's your sensory.
That is a great question. You would hear. Let me think about this for a second. I don't believe number 8 has said anything at this point. And so you wouldn't hear voices, but you would have heard Gideon's strike against the hull of the ship. That's for sure.
Okay. So they aren't, because I hear that, so I suspect they aren't that far away, but they're still like some distance.
Yeah, kind of indeterminate nearby.
Yes. Yeah. I would. Okay, yeah. I already said I'm gonna use banner, so I might as well use banner, right? So I'm reaching to get the banner out, and
With a struggle, you manage to pull it out, with your body still almost pressed up against the hull of the ship.
Yes. I would like, by the power of the gods, I summoned the soldiers from my home world to kill the core of singers with weapons. Be summoned now to aid me in this battle. And let's see, how many do I want to summon? Not much, because I don't want to use a lot of essence. 5?
Yep. And now the big question, where are they going to appear?
I can't see.
No.
I am blind, so I can feel the ship, right?
Yeah, you can feel the hull of the ship.
Do I remember that it's transparent? I remember.
It's not quite, it looks kind of transparentish, but it's not like you could see what was happening inside of it. It kind of gives the pretense of being transparent. Maybe more like a cloaking device would be a better word for it. But like kind of a crappy one.
Is the shield wall pressing me against the ship?
Not like smushing you, right? But like you are snug against the ship.
Okay. Wait. Where do I summon them? Where do I summon them? Is it possible for me to summon them, somewhere in the like inside the ship?
Ooh. Paired action. I mean, you've given a nice little speech. That's great. But can you give some other element to the paired action that will determine that as being their entry point?
Oh, where am I? I'm just like, where
Marco,
are you guys?
Polo. And as Valtharion does his solemn invocation and then is like, he would feel the banner's power kind of pulse out. And while he would not hear his soldiers, he does have 1+ to spirit. And that 1+ to spirit would be enough to register their presences above him.
Above me? Awesome. I would shout, "Please help me! Man, help me anyway! Try to save me from not falling down!" Probably. I would use Characteristics also with that. Is that off cooldown?
Yes, Geroniuz is off of cooldown.
And I suspect I'm red now.
Yes, you are.
Essence.
And as soon as Valtharion hits the red, he starts hearing his soldiers calling to him. "Great Lord, Sacred Leader, hold on! We are coming for you!"
Yeah. I would like also start babbling about gods and devils because I'm in red. It's powered by Characteristics,
Quite.
and I have 4 vitality. You said at the start of the mission, they know Metro.
They do.
Is it possible they can hear me through the ship of wall?
It seems totally possible, especially with Geroniuz plus 4 vitality.
Yeah, so I will start babbling about my gods and my devils, saying like, we will free you. Join the cult. The gods and the devils are powerful. And I will start talking about each god. I also have a perk on it, so they will be like more. I think I already said that before. Yeah.
Yeah, more susceptible to your proselytizing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, something else I did also mention is that these aliens are religious. Very religious. Religious.
Valtharion believes in every god.
Oh, of course.
And every devil. He will be not talking about his only his gods. He will be talking about freedom of every god and believing in every god, and every belief is
quite
true.
And as he is calling this out, and he hears his soldiers kind of responding to him, he would also hear a deep kind of going off of the ship. Before we go further with that, however, let's jump back to number 8.
All right. Do I have a feeling that the candle is working at all? In like trying to overwhelm the sensor?
Possibly, but they aren't turning the tractor beam back on.
Okay.
Or at least they're not pulling you in deeper. They're still holding you there.
Yeah. Again, how far away am I from where the port is?
From where the tractor beam port is, you are probably like 5 seconds of hovering away. You are substantially closer to the hole that Gideon has created, and you would also be witness to Gideon, his whole body kind of changing color strangely, as though the waveforms of light around him were being distorted, as he is trying to draw in the asphyxiant towards himself. You see him just kind of like radiated and suspended in position as his hand molders away to nothing.
Well, that fool can wither to dust as far as number 8 is concerned. You had one impression and you ruined it, but perhaps I'll be able to help. I would like to do a defiance, targeting my champion.
Yeah.
And as we are, stopped in our ascent, but not falling down yet, as he is clearly like struggling to stay conscious, right, on some level, in a like a dreamlike state, I would like to speak to him reassuringly, and almost sort of like sending him above myself as I'm doing this, like sort of like lifting him up, just sort of like whispering words of encouragement, saying, "They fear you, warrior. Fall not for their tricks. They know that you alone will bring their doom. Ascend, and you will send their ship crashing down, so that their blood may nourish the earth." As I pass on to him my ritual dagger.
And as he takes the dagger in his bleeding hand, he would pull away the star crystal from his mouth. It's been completely imbibed. And instead of responding, he would hover apart from the tractor beam, as this number 8's triple arcane can give him that as a manifestation as well. And as he moves up towards the hole that Gideon cleft, he takes the armful of stones that he has from the garden, rakes the dagger along his arm to paint them with blood, and hefts them in through the hole that Gideon carved in the hull.
Nice.
And the moment it does so, the ship bends wildly in midair. Almost like, imagine a perfectly balanced plate that you just dropped a 10-pound weight onto. You know what I mean? It's like immediately. And the hull goes swerving wildly down towards number 8 and her champion, who is buffeted out of the way and knocked out of the air, with her not far behind. What does she want to do as the hull is listing wildly towards her?
Do I get an opportunity to jump in?
In through the hole?
Yeah.
You have not the stats for that, unfortunately.
Okay. And am I still being like held mid-air, or am I like?
No, the tractor beam broke. You are starting to drop, but the ship is listing faster than you are falling.
Okay. That being said, the ship seems fucked, right? Like,
very, very fucked.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so am I, honestly. Sorry, what is happening to the champion again?
Since he was much closer to the hull when it listed, was just like swatted out of the air by the hull as it started to like wildly turn, and he is like plummeting past you, almost as though like, imagine like a skydiver whose parachute gets tangled, you know, and they just kind of go like flying through the air, you know what I mean? Like a broken physics engine flying.
Okay. Does it look like a lethal fall for him?
It would be, by far, but Fill the Void is still active, and that is a shield. Still, the answer is maybe, by the way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. God, I am not equipped to be doing anything.
Do you need a moment? I can give you a moment.
What does the landing look like for me? What would I be falling on top of?
You'd be falling on top of the monastery roof.
I get my 2 last alms.
Yep.
And I throw them to the ground, giving a donation to the Earth Goddess. And hopefully she appreciates the gesture.
Help! Yeah.
And then I fall.
And as you do so, you feel the hull of the ship smack into you, like giving you an extra push down towards the ground. The hull itself, it, like I described ballistic gel when Gideon hacked into it, it just feels like, imagine being like smacked across the back of the head with a gigantic like mat made of jelly. You know, like, that's kind of what it feels like. But it certainly helps you along as you go plummeting down towards the ground. Before we go further, however, Gideon, the world swims around you. Your lungs are stiff and static. They do not want to take more breath in. Your arm is the incandescent color of a light bulb. The rest of your body, you can only vaguely register like the strange shifting sensations that move through you as you have drawn in all of this asphyxiant. What will you do? And with what little you have to do anything?
We're going to dig our grave quite a bit further.
Oh
As
God.
Gideon, in his mind, will demand possession of these gases, not being able to voice such a demand.
Yep.
And going back to a mission hosted forever ago, where they were attacking pirates stealing gases into balloons, will try and opprobrium the noxious gas into his balloon gantry, essentially.
That's so cool. What's going to be the paired action?
Coerce a target into making a specific binding concession, of which he will muster his final strength to produce another cut as to make the flow of goods go faster.
Yeah. And as he does so, hacking down, he would feel a rush, and then he would feel a detonation. Valtharion. As Valtharion, like, whispers out and calls out the sounds and the chants, he hears a sudden lurch, and he is falling. He is blind, he is helpless, he is falling, with his prayers still spilling from his lips.
Question, is 2 arms permanent?
2 arms does stick around until the end of the mission, but it is not permanent beyond that.
Yeah, enough.
Otherwise, you know, you'd
that
be able
is
to
enough
give,
for
like,
the mission.
all of the cavemen guns forever, that sort of thing, right?
That means the perks on the 2 arms is also?
Yep, those would stick around by my reading of your perks.
So the wine guy.
Yep,
is
he's
still
there.
alive. I have Karentik is still active. Would they be hearing me?
Gerethings is still active, and yes, though you would not be able to know it for certain, Valtharion would be able to infer they could, given that his quad vitality plus Gerethings can be heard from a pretty frickin' far way away.
Okay, I will be shouting then. Oh gods and prayers, catch me in this air. Use the catapult to launch yourself in the air to catch me.
Not the catapult again.
The catapult.
And as he's saying this, by the way, he sees around him visions of the gods and devils falling about him with him. He sees his own soldiers kind of chasing after, trying to catch them, and then somehow flying back up, off and away. He's not sure how much of what he sees is real and how much of it is fake. But what he does see is the gigantic hull of the spaceship plummeting down towards him as well, until a detonation goes off. Though he can't be sure whether that is reality or fiction as well.
Yeah, but what I hope that will happen with the screaming, shouting, is that the wine guy will hear it and launch himself
Quite.
catapult towards me. The catapult grants flight a little bit, but blinds him. But hopefully enough, catch me.
And there is one... I will get to that in a moment. Before I do,
Yes.
number 8. You are the first to hit the ground. And
Maybe one thing
Yeah.
to add to before I fall. So
Please.
number 9, number 8. Number 8 has made her donation to the Earth Goddess.
yeah,
I also want to point out before we do anything, she has 1+2 resilience. So
I am aware of that one.
as she is falling, she the way she died is actually she basically committed a self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
She didn't have any sort of like honorary burial at all because she has self-sacrificed in secret. And as she's falling to the death, she will just, after making the donation, appreciation for the Earth Goddess, she will give up on trying to do anything else. She will just go back into sort of like the same position she has died in. The dagger sheathed in between her, like in her ribcage, in between the ribs, and just pretty much fall.
And as she does so, she would see 2 things and register a third. 1, she would see the spaceship starting to, like the list, go into a plummet that will land it clean on top of the monastery. 2, she would see a detonation go off, and the ship is blasted off course. And 3, she would sense a... You know when there's the real world idea of oftentimes you will see the vision of God up in the sky, right? There's the warmth of the earth is about her as she plummets down. You know that goddamn sound effect of like the bones clinking that people put in like shorts and stuff? I imagine her hitting the ground sounds like that.
Full damage sound effect.
Fall damage sound effect. And number 8 would feel no more. And Valtharion, there is a critical flaw in the plan, which is that a Vine Warrior does not know how to reload a catapult.
Perfect. Yeah, that is acceptable. Is 2 arms off cooldown?
2 arms? Oh, God. Is it off cooldown? It is, but you are, like, well in the red, so please be careful.
I'm gonna die anyways, probably.
Let's hear it.
So it's either dying of exhaustion or fall damage. So wait, I need to think about it quickly. Gloves. I can do gloves, right? With 2 arms.
For 2 arms, yeah.
Yeah. I pray for the gods to grant me help as I'm flying blindly down to my death. Give me your ceremonial gloves with me to help me maybe be alive. And I'm gonna only give gloves to myself, of course.
Yep. And I'm guessing you're going for the imbued effects.
Yes, because if I summon a fighter, I'm probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Because of its high cost. But imbuing effect. Okay, let's start with the curse. I would like the curse to be like I go insane completely. Like completely insane.
Yeah.
100%.
As if that isn't the case.
Yes, I was about to say. Wow, that's so surprising. Like, wow, never could have seen that coming.
Yes, I go completely insane. Anyways, also, I would have like this bloodthirsty rage. And like basically almost every curse that you can think of. Not almost, but more.
I get where you're going for.
But yeah. And hopefully, the imbued magic effect will be giving me slow falling. Probably not.
On gloves?
Gloves and boots.
Okay. I just pictured like a little like flap 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 flap. Please stop. Now, one last thing. Valtharion has been falling for quite a while by the time he creates this 2 arms. And obviously, even though like his fall was not like an immediate plummet, you're dead in 2 seconds sort of thing. It's not slow, right? And so by the time he gets these items on, he is about to hit the ground. And as he does, boom, he's already in a bit of a state. His consciousness is knocked from him immediately. And on that note, we will end the mission. The repercussions, because every single character was not able to be aware of the end of the mission. Every single character was either dead or unconscious at the end of the mission. And we have both Gideon, Valtharion, and number 8. It is a full party wipe. Wow.
Successful though.
That is my first official full party wipe of Advent ever. Wow. And I will say, with number 8 and Valtharion, it was incredibly close. Incredibly close. I think it easily could have gone either way. Gideon was like turbo omega dead, but Gideon did something incredibly important, which is knock the ship off course from just crashing into the monastery, which would have been horrifically bad by itself, and would have made it so that had either of the other two found a way to keep cling to life, they would have just been killed by that crash. Really, really good play by him at the end there. Brutally close. That's maddening. However, to briefly go through on a couple of very important calls. For one, Valtharion, you are falling too fast for the thing to save you. And even if you had, there was one other critical thing. Your essence was so bad, and he would have gone so mad that there's no way he could have had the wherewithal to hit his badge. He was gone. If he had an ally ping him out, Valtharion might have been able to survive that. And by the way, Valtharion's soldiers that he summoned in the ship asphyxiated and died instantly, but were still able to kill the ship's controllers. So that's part of the reason that, again, it went down. Which, again, of course, if you guys had, died and the ship was still good, mission fail, turbo mission fail, right? Second of all, number 8, the Sacred Stones play was huge. again, that was really essential for driving these things off, because they had a few more tricks up their sleeves beyond the asphyxiant, and that was facilitated very largely by Gideon. Something you guys did really well in this mission was juggle aggro. Gideon was the most present threat. Valtharion, Vitality plus Geroniuz was a huge attention pull, and then also number 8 with her Star Crystal, plus then bringing in the Sacred Champion of Holy Rock, right? Those were all serious threats that they had to consider. And one of the things that was really useful from that is that they only deployed the asphyxiant at the very end of the mission. Imagine if they had led with that. That would have been a colossal problem. And so you guys did a great job of juggling aggro, as well as dealing with their various threats and obstacles and things of that nature. And the last thing that I would add in is you guys did way more damage to them than I ever thought you would. Way more. I thought that they would be completely unscathed and you just scare them away, which would have been a mission success. But you actually destroyed the ship, and I did not think you would. So colossal props to that. Do you guys have calls that question about calls that I made or the plot of the mission? Always important on missions with character deaths, and especially on missions with a full wipe like this. So I am more than happy to answer questions about any call that you saw on the mission.
Does Enclave consider this to be a success?
This is a successful mission.
No, what I'm asking is, like, was this a successful operation for it?
Is the Enclave? No. 3 agents is a way worse thing to lose than a mission fail.
I mean, they don't have to pay them anymore, at least, right? So
hardly matters. Remember, the Enclave plays the long game. They like training their agents to be very, very powerful and talented. Also because agents tend to just kind of like not be loyal, right? It's not, you don't really get loyal to the Enclave, you're just comfortable there. And so they'd rather have around very high level, well-trained agents than meat grinder. But like, oh well, that is the risk they run as with their investments. It's a good question though. Jesus Christ, this was okay. Gero, how dare you not give Valtharion intelligence? I really wanted to give him some more stuff. Like, oh, what about this? I couldn't because he had baseline intelligence. Rip.
I wanted to give next level.
God damn. Sick manifestations, by the way. The breathable air one was really good. I liked that one a lot. Gideon pulling off insanely cool manifestations as well. I thought that the thing about pulling, like, the frickin' opprobrium energy work was obviously what caused the detonation, right? And that was, there was no recovering from that. However, it was a really good play. And, like, you know, in...
I will say, like 5 seconds before we cut off the mission, I thought, well, yeah, he has a bunch of gas. Why don't we make him breathe that shit? But presumably, there's no way he would have been aware enough to try another one.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, the boom was a lot. God damn it. Do you guys have any other questions about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
I want to know if my champion survives.
No, he died. The Fill the Void was a really good play, and it got him far, and it probably would have saved him from a fall if he had been medically treated immediately afterwards. But exploding, crashing spaceship, no.
Okay.
Plus, still not able to breathe, no. God damn. And another quick thing. Julian, the Alfur play was huge because, like I mentioned, they would not have touched the sacred stones without that. And those stones could do more damage to the ship than any other weapon you guys had. Though, as you saw...
I think it was insanely funny for that to happen in the first 5 seconds of the mission of the Knecht just throwing a fucking stone at the thing and that doing shit.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, he totally would do that. And then I after you guys were talking about it, and the fact that you like tracked the shot and you're like, ooh, that did something, that was really important.
I do have a question now.
Yeah.
Did Simon survive this?
Simon survived.
Does he get to ping out, or is he like stuck in this place?
Simon would get to ping out, but it would be after a while. He would have to hunker down here for a good bit. with the monks trying to clean up this terrific mess. I don't think he would stay, though.
No.
I'm glad that there are no major questions on calls. That's really important on missions with deaths. And all I can say is beautifully played, guys. You guys it was fun. It was funny. You had really cool moves. You made some big risks that were super exciting. And I'm honestly just really surprised. Like, I would not have expected that this goofy premise would lead to such drama and so many character deaths. Along those lines, the focus words. First of all, what is that? When I saw that, plus life on Mars, I immediately thought of, like, what if aliens came to a society not ready for them, right? But then I also thought, what if the aliens were like, what the shit is this? Why can't we do anything about this? Like, so the aliens were unleashing these brutal futuristic weapons, and it was just doing nothing to these, like, basic medieval soldiers. And I thought that was kind of a fun way of playing both sides of that focus word. Life on Mars was pretty obvious, but also that was where I got kind of the campy feel to the aliens. I was trying to make them kind of goofy and over the top. They could speak Metro. They're like, we will destroy you. Like, all that shit. Like, that was all informed by the kind of pulpy, campy feel to that focus word. It made me think of, like, some of, the early 1900s sci-fi literature that was all, like, super corny. That was where I went with that. And then lastly, let me pull up the focus word so I can remember it. The War of the Holy League, not to be confused with the War of the Holy League, 1538 to 1540, the War of the Holy League, 1570 to 1573, the Wars of the Holy League, 1583 to 1683 to 1699. First of all, fuck you for making me say that twice. So that came in a few ways. First of all, profoundly religious-focused mission, with both sides having religious reasons for doing things. Two, the fact that it was this seemingly gigantic event of, like, it's outer space crossed with a medieval thing, that already had happened a couple of times. And so this was just, like, a random sequel that the human defenders like, oh, well, this has gone well before. We're going to be fine about this. And third of all, it gave me the kind of baseline medieval flavoring. I didn't just pick medieval out of a hat. You gave me dates, so I was like, okay, I know pretty much where I'm going to pin the tech level for the monks at, and that was how I ended up using that one. God, I am, like, so agitated from all this. I did not expect this going into this mission whatso goddamn ever. You guys genuinely played beautifully too. That's the frustrating thing, is I wanted to not to. Do you have any other questions for me about the mission, thoughts on the characters, or similar before we sign off?
Yeah, I think I had really bad decisions.
They were fun as hell, though.
I had to do it. I know, I had to. I knew Valtharion is gonna die if I launch him in the sky.
Yeah.
Blinded also.
I was gonna say, that was so rough. But no, it was fun. It was cool. And he's such, like, an extra character that, like, it felt in theme.
Yeah. Like, he might not do much, like, relevant, but he's just distracting everyone.
Quite. Well, I mean, his coordination with, like, the soldiers was actually really important. They saved that brother early on. They were ready and willing to help out later on. But you guys were all up in the sky. There's only so much they could do to help at that point. Besides the one who stripped off his armor. Any other questions or thoughts before we wrap up?
Did we at least end the Holy Wars forever? Is there going to be a sequel?
The celestial infidels are not going to be coming for another round for quite a long time. They lost a ship. They were not ready to lose a ship.
This was the first time that they lost an actual ship.
This is the first time they took damage. I mean, right, for a ship. They lost troopers previously, but they've never lost a ship. And yeah, they're space travel is expensive. They're not willing to blow that much on this.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a success.
Yeah, I fully agree. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautifully job. Beautifully job. I can't freaking speak anymore. Beautifully done, guys. A well done job. thank you so much for taking the time. And let's do our sign-offs. We'll go Julian, Gero, and Tomáš.
All right. I guess this is it. I hope you all, whoever watches this, enjoyed watching it. And I hope to see some of you come to the server and play with us.
Well said. And Gero.
Well, same words. Really hope you liked watching funny moments. What happened. Yeah. And yes, we are trying to grow this awesome game. I love it. Join.
Thank you so much, man. And lastly.
Well, I've been Tomáš. I have also been number 8. Never going to be number 8 again, so that's sad. But I feel like at least she got a bit of a redemption. Did a genuinely good thing, kind of.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Right. Thank you all for watching the game, and come play Enclave with us.
Marvelous. And as always, my name is Robbie Howell. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and ciao for now.